Welcome to our first weekly test prep series for the arithmetic section of the ASVAB. In this video, we'll cover essential arithmetic questions to help you ace the ASVAB exam. To make the most of this prep session, you can follow the link in the description or scan the QR code on the screen to answer the questions online. This will give you an interactive way to practice and track your progress. Let's dive into the questions and start preparing for success. Question 1. Question 2. Question 3. Question 4. Question 5. Question 6. Question 7. Question 8. Question 9. Question 10. Question 11. Question 12. Question 13. Question 14. Question 15. Question 16. Now that you have answered the questions, let's move on to the correction section to understand the solutions in detail. Question 1. Step 1. Identify the problem. Jane bought a laptop for $800 and a software package for $200. We need to find what percentage of the total purchase price was spent on the laptop. Step 2. Calculate the total cost. First, add the price of the laptop and the software package. $800 plus $200 equals $1,000. So the total cost is $1,000. Step 3. Calculate the percentage spent on the laptop. Now, divide the cost of the laptop by the total cost and multiply by 100 to get the percentage. $800 divided by $1,000 equals 0.8. Then, multiply 0.8 by 100 to get the percentage. 0.8 times 100 equals 80%. Question 2. Step 1. Identify the problem. Mira is planning her travel budget. She allocates 35% of her budget for accommodation costs. We need to express this percentage as a fraction. Step 2. Write the percentage as a fraction. To convert 35% to a fraction, start by writing it as 35 over 100. So, 35% is written as 35 divided by 100. Step 3. Simplify the fraction. Next, simplify the fraction by finding the greatest common divisor of 35 and 100, which is 5. Divide both the numerator and the denominator by 5. 35 divided by 5 equals 7. 100 divided by 5 equals 20. So 35 over 100 simplifies to 7 over 20. Therefore, 35% expressed as a fraction is 7 over 20. Question 3. Step 1. Identify the problem. The city of Springfield is planning to increase its public transportation ticket prices by 12%. The current price of a single ride ticket is $2.50. We need to find the new price after the increase. Step 2. Calculate the 12% increase. First, find 12% of $2.50. To do this, multiply $2.50 by 0.12. 2.50 times 0.12 equals 0.30. Step 3. Add the increase to the original price. Now, add the increase of 30 cents to the original price. $2.50 plus 30 cents equals $2.80. The new price of a single ride ticket after a 12% increase will be $2.80. Question 4. Step 1. Identify the problem. A delivery truck travels from warehouse A to warehouse B, covering a distance of 200 miles in 4 hours, then travels an additional 100 miles to warehouse C in 2 hours. We need to find the truck's average speed for the entire journey in miles per hour. Step 2. Calculate the total distance. First, add the distances traveled. From warehouse A to warehouse B is 200 miles. From warehouse B to warehouse C is 100 miles. So the total distance is 200 miles plus 100 miles, which equals 300 miles. Step 3. Calculate the total time. Next, add the time taken for each part of the journey. From warehouse A to warehouse B takes 4 hours. From warehouse B to warehouse C takes 2 hours. So the total time is 4 hours plus 2 hours, which equals 6 hours. Step 4. Calculate the average speed. Now, divide the total distance by the total time to find the average speed. 300 miles divided by 6 hours equals 50 miles per hour. The truck's average speed for the entire journey is 50 miles per hour. Question 5. Step 1. Identify the problem. A train departs from Station A at 3 p.m. and takes 250 minutes to reach Station B. We need to find the arrival time at Station B. Step 2. Convert minutes to hours and minutes. First, convert 250 minutes to hours and minutes. 250 minutes divided by 60 minutes per hour equals 4 hours and 10 minutes. Step 3. Add the travel time to the departure time. Next, add 4 hours and 10 minutes to the departure time of 3 p.m. 3 p.m. plus 4 hours equals 7 p.m. Adding the remaining 10 minutes to 7 p.m. equals 7:10 p.m. The train will arrive at Station B at 7:10 p.m. Question 6. Step 1. Identify the problem. You are planning a road trip that covers 320 miles. Your car's fuel efficiency is 20 miles per gallon, and gasoline costs $3 per gallon. We need to find out how much you will spend on gasoline for the trip. Step 2. Calculate the number of gallons needed. First, find the number of gallons of gasoline needed for the trip. Divide the total miles by the fuel efficiency. 320 miles divided by 20 miles per gallon equals 16 gallons. Step 3. Calculate the cost of gasoline. Next, calculate the cost of gasoline by multiplying the number of gallons needed by the price per gallon. 16 gallons multiplied by $3 per gallon equals $48. You will spend $48 on gasoline for the trip. Question 7. Step 1. Identify the problem. A factory needs to ship 7,500 pounds of goods using its fleet of trucks, each with a maximum load capacity of 3,000 pounds. We need to find the minimum number of trucks required to ship all the goods without exceeding any truck's load capacity. Step 2. Calculate the number of trucks needed. First, divide the total weight of the goods by the maximum load capacity of each truck. 7,500 pounds divided by 3,000 pounds per truck equals 2.5. Step 3. Round up to the next whole number. Since you can't use half a truck, round up to the next whole number. 2.5 rounds up to 3. Step 4. Ensure all goods are accounted for. With 3 trucks, each carrying 3,000 pounds, you can carry a total of 9,000 pounds. However, this exceeds the required 7,500 pounds. To avoid confusion, consider this. 2 trucks can carry 6,000 pounds. You need 1 more truck to carry the remaining 1,500 pounds. Thus, you need a total of 3 trucks to carry all 7,500 pounds without exceeding any truck's load capacity. The minimum number of trucks required to ship all the goods is 3. Question 8. Step 1. Identify the problem. During a 5-day road trip, Jake traveled the following distances: 350 miles, 410 miles, 365 miles, 415 miles, and 360 miles. We need to find the average mean distance Jake traveled per day. Step 2. Calculate the total distance traveled. Add up all the distances traveled over the 5 days. 350 miles plus 410 miles plus 365 miles plus 415 miles plus 360 miles equals 1,900 miles. Step 3. Calculate the number of days. Jake traveled for a total of 5 days. Step 4. Find the average distance per day. Divide the total distance by the number of days. 1,900 miles divided by 5 days equals 380 miles per day. The average distance Jake traveled per day is 380 miles. Question 9. Step 1. Identify the problem. A worker earns $25 per hour and works 40 hours per week. We need to find out how much he will earn in 3 weeks. Step 2. Calculate weekly earnings. First, multiply the hourly wage by the number of hours worked per week. $25 per hour multiplied by 40 hours per week equals $1,000 per week. Step 3. Calculate earnings for 3 weeks. Next, multiply the weekly earnings by the number of weeks. $1,000 per week multiplied by 3 weeks equals $3,000. The worker will earn $3,000 in 3 weeks. Question 10. Step 1. Identify the problem. Tom works in a factory assembling gadgets. Each gadget requires 7 screws. Tom assembles 36 gadgets in 1 day. We need to find out how many screws he uses in total. Step 2. Calculate the total number of screws. Multiply the number of screws required for each gadget by the number of gadgets assembled. 7 screws per gadget multiplied by 36 gadgets equals 252 screws. Tom uses 252 screws in 1 day. Question 11. Step 1. Identify the problem. A car was purchased for $20,000 and depreciates by 15% annually. We need to find its value after 2 years. Step 2. Calculate the value after the first year. First, calculate the value after the first year by taking 85% of the original price. Since 100%, 15% equals sign 85%. $20,000 multiplied by 0.85 equals $17,000. Step 3. Calculate the value after the second year. Next, calculate the value after the second year by taking 85% of the value after the first year. $17,000 multiplied by 0.85 equals $14,450. The car's value after 2 years will be $14,450. Question 12. Step 1. Identify the problem. On a work trip, a company provides 3 snacks for every 5 employees. If there are 40 employees, we need to find out how many snacks are needed. Step 2. Set up the proportion. Using the ratio of 3 snacks for every 5 employees, set up the proportion 3/5 equals sign x 40, where x represents the number of snacks needed for 40 employees. Step 3. Solve the proportion. To solve for x, cross-multiply and divide. 3 multiplied by 40 equals 120. 120 divided by 5 equals 24. The company needs 24 snacks for 40 employees. Question 13. Step 1. Identify the problem. If you travel 3/4 of a mile to the store, and then another 1/2 mile to your friend's house, we need to find out how far you have traveled in total. Step 2. Convert to a common denominator. To add the fractions 3/4 and 1/2, first convert 1/2 to a fraction with a common denominator with 3/4. The common denominator of 4 and 2 is 4. 1/2 is equivalent to 2/4. Step 3. Add the fractions. Now add the fractions with the common denominator. 3/4 plus 2/4 equals 5/4. Step 4. Simplify the fraction. Convert 5/4 to a mixed number. 5/4 equals 1 1/4. You have traveled a total of 1 1/4 miles. Question 14. Step 1. Identify the problem. Sophia is planning to install ceramic tiles on her kitchen floor, which measures 12 feet in length and 10 feet in width. Each ceramic tile covers an area of 2 square feet. We need to find out how many ceramic tiles Sophia needs to cover the entire kitchen floor. Step 2. Calculate the area of the kitchen floor. First, calculate the area of the kitchen floor by multiplying its length and width. 12 feet multiplied by 10 feet equals 120 square feet. Step 3. Determine the number of tiles needed. Next, divide the total area of the kitchen floor by the area each tile covers. 120 square feet divided by 2 square feet per tile equals 60 tiles. Sophia needs 60 ceramic tiles to cover the entire kitchen floor. Question 15. Step 1. Identify the problem. During exercise, a person's heart rate should be between 60% and 90% of the difference between 220 and the person's age. We need to find the maximum heart rate for a 30-year-old person during exercise. Step 2. Calculate the difference between 220 and the person's age. First, subtract the person's age from 220. 220 minus 30 equals 190. Step 3. Calculate 10% of the difference. Next, find 10% of 190. Multiply 190 by 0.10. 190 times 0.10 equals 19. Step 4. Subtract 10% from the original difference. Subtract 19 from 190 to find 90% of the difference. 190 minus 19 equals 171. The maximum heart rate for a 30-year-old person during exercise should be 171 beats per minute. Question 16. Step 1. Identify the problem. James needs to repaint his office, which requires 3 cans of paint. Each can costs $25. He also needs to buy new brushes that cost $4 each, and he plans to buy 5 of them. We need to find out how much James will spend in total for the paint and brushes. Step 2. Calculate the cost of the paint. First, calculate the cost of the paint. 3 cans of paint multiplied by $1.25 per can equals $1.75. So the total cost for the paint is $75. Step 3. Calculate the cost of the brushes. Next, calculate the cost of the brushes. 5 brushes multiplied by $4 per brush equals $20. So the total cost for the brushes is $20. Step 4. Add the costs together. Now, add the cost of the paint and the cost of the brushes together. $75 plus $20 equals $95. James will spend a total of $95 on the paint and brushes.